Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Mr. City Attorney, do we have any reports from closed session?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Nothing to report out of closed session.
Thank you. Mr. Court, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Ayala,
Here.
Councilmember Rhodes,
Here.
Councilmember Litzter,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Judge,
Here.
and Mayor Kavanaugh.
Here. Are there any items for agenda review?
Madam Mayor, there are two. Item 1D2 and item public hearing, item 5A, are both continued to the November 17th meeting.
Thank you. Councilmember?
I move that all resolutions and ordinances presented tonight be read in title only and all further reading be waived.
Second.
Call for the vote.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. If any member of the City Council may have a conflict of interest or any reason why that member must abstain from consideration of any matter on this agenda, he or she should so declare at this time. Seeing none, we may move on.
Madam Mayor and members of the City Council, the first item on the agenda is item 1D1, presentation of certificates of completion to the fall CERT graduating class. And Emergency Services Coordinator Shannon Johnson is here to present this item.
Fall 2025 Community Emergency Response Team CERT training class. This year marks the 31st year the city has offered CERT training. This training is free to the community thanks to our ongoing partnership with the Ventura County Fire Department. With the addition of tonight's graduates, over 1,600 Simi Valley residents and employees have completed this hands-on 24-hour disaster response training course, which includes a final disaster simulation exercise. A special thank you to the dedicated individuals who made this training possible: retired Ventura County Fire Department Battalion Chief Ron Oatman and CERT instructors Bob Moss and William Michael, who led the weekly trainings. CERT Program Director Steve Lazenby, who coordinated the final disaster simulation exercise. We would also like to thank the city's disaster service worker volunteers for supporting the CERT training. The volunteers with us tonight are Phil Ankrum, Ed Baker, David Fisher, Kirk Heineman, Melissa Heineman, Ray Perkins, and Kathy Tonoli. We thank each of you for your time, service, and dedication. Over the course of 6 weeks, the graduates received training in key emergency response skills, including disaster preparedness, disaster psychology, medical operations, fire safety and suppression, search and rescue, and situational awareness. The CERT program prepares residents for disaster response and potential evacuations. We thank all of tonight's graduates for their dedication to the program and congratulate them on their graduation. We ask them to become champions of CERT and encourage their neighbors to take CERT training, for when disaster strikes, the more prepared we are, the better our community will respond and recover. The next CERT class will be offered in spring 2026, starting March 4th. For more details, visit the Emergency Services page on the city's website. At this time, we invite the graduates who are able to attend this evening to come forward as their names are called to receive their certificates. Laura Allen, Aaron Bajanik, Kenny Chandler, Bazan Chaco, Donna Hall, Mijan Han, Gareth Hems, James Hems, Aiden Ulrich, Penny Keller, Sophia Santatoro, Susan Strong, Daniel Vickeray, Stacy Wanhala, and Mark Williams. Thank you all for your dedication and congratulations.
Come on back over. Let's come on back over here because they're going to want to take some pictures of you. But I just want to say thank you all for taking the time and taking this class. It's a wonderful class. I'm a CERT graduate. Somebody else up here is too. Mr. Ayala is also. So it's great to be able to help your neighbors. I remember in the '94 earthquake, I was in a townhome complex and we were all able to help each other. I knew how to do this and you knew how to do that. That's what's going to need to happen if we have another major emergency because we don't have enough first responders. So by taking this class, it gives you the power to know what to do and to help yourself and your neighbors. So that's such a really great thing for our community, and to have that many graduates over the years is just fantastic. So a round of applause for you guys again.
You ready? Or you want to wait a little bit?
Wait 10 seconds, we're good. We can start.
Madam Mayor and members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 1D3, Certificate of Recognition to Kellen King for being the recipient of the Forever Found Pillar of Freedom Award, and Police Chief Shorts is here to present this item.
Mayor Kavanaugh and members of the City Council, good evening. Tonight, we are recognizing the, wrong one. We were going to give out awards to the graduates again. How about that? Good evening, Mayor Kavanaugh and honorable City Council members. This evening, we are proud to recognize Detective Kellen King for her outstanding contributions and recent recognition by Forever Found, a local nonprofit dedicated to the prevention, rescue, and restoration of child trafficking victims. At Forever Found's Freedom Gala on October 19th, Detective King was honored as one of 8 stewards of freedom, receiving the Pillars of Freedom Award for her unwavering commitment to protecting vulnerable youth and her exceptional partnership with community organizations in the fight against human trafficking. Detective King has been instrumental in leading investigations involving the exploitation of children, working tirelessly with state and federal partners, prosecutors, and victim advocates to ensure justice and recovery for survivors. Her compassion, professionalism, and persistence reflect the highest standards of law enforcement and the values of the Simi Valley Police Department. On behalf of the city and the Simi Valley Police Department, it is my privilege to to present Detective King with the Certificate of Recognition for her dedication to protecting the most vulnerable members of our community and for being a true steward of freedom.
I had the honor, and so did Councilmember Ayala, of being there for the evening when you were awarded this, and we were so proud of you. I know how much hard work you've put into this, and it's not an easy task to do. It takes a lot, and it takes a very special person. So we're glad that you're part of our PD, and this is just a small part of the recognition you deserve, and she does not like recognition. So to get her to do this was a very special thing. So we really appreciate that. So you're welcome. You want to take some pictures? You're not getting out yet.
Madam Mayor and members of City Council, next on the agenda is item 2, public statements on appointments, special presentations, and informational reports. We have no speakers for this item this evening. Madam Mayor and members of City Council, next on the agenda is item 3A1, presentation of Big Brothers and Big Sisters program by Danica Salvaggio, Chief Executive Director.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me today. And I'm not sure if there was the perfect. I think it's coming up on the screen now. Although I'm always able to wing it as well, if we need to.
I don't think we have a PowerPoint.
But I'll go ahead and get started so that we're not holding anything up either. But thank you again for having me. My name is Danica Salvaggio. I'm the CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Ventura County. I am also a born and raised resident here of Simi Valley. So even though Big Brothers Big Sisters serves all of Ventura County, and it served all of Ventura County since 1970, it is always a very special privilege to be able to come and speak about our impact here in my own hometown. So thank you very much. I definitely want to highlight the gem of our organization, which is our Simi Valley Youth Room. That's a space that we operate with the thanks of the partnership with Simi Valley Free Clinic. They've been a great supporter of ours and so many other organizations here in the community. But we're happy to call the Simi Valley Multi-Services Center home with our youth room. It's where we can create a space for young people in our community here in Simi Valley to come and learn about what their pathway looks like, what mentorship could mean to them. And youth who come through this space learn that they either are able to benefit from the support of a mentor in the community, and I'll give you a couple little descriptions about what that looks like. But I also want to highlight this is our very first year that we have had over 20 high school students also step up to become mentors themselves. So we have our high school mentor program that's been running for a few years now, but this is our biggest cohort in Simi Valley yet. And they are all matched with elementary school students, also from here in Simi Valley. And they've been doing all sorts of great activities. Sometimes it's getting together and doing art projects. Other times it's focusing on improving literacy here in the community. And they're also talking about what it really means to be an engaged community participant. So talking about volunteering, leading volunteer projects together in this space. So we're also supporting not just the next generation of mentors, but the next generation of civic leaders here in Simi Valley, which is fantastic to see. We also have our program across Ventura County, and we're having a very, very robust calling here in Simi Valley as well for our one-to-one traditional mentorship program. So if you're familiar with Big Brothers and Big Sisters and the work that we do, our mission always boils down to the support of finding that one mentor to be matched with one young person and help guide them on an individual approach to what their future focus looks like, what their pathway to success looks like. And we all know that that pathway looks very, very different for every single young person in our programs. Sometimes a young person comes into our program because they're facing some sort of severe socioeconomic adversity in the community, and that alone can mean a lot of different things. Sometimes it's because it's a young person who just feels disconnected, isn't getting the support or attention that they might need at school, Maybe they're not getting the support or the attention that they might need at home. And whatever that might look like for every individual person, a mentor is the perfect person to step up when that young person needs them and to say, what can I do to support you as an individual? And that mentor can walk alongside that young person through different ages and stages as they're growing, as they're changing, as they're exploring different opportunities. I remember when I first joined Big Brothers Big Sisters over 10 years ago, the longest running match that we had at that time had been matched when that child was 8 years old. And I was happy to see them graduate from our program when they turned 18. I hear that they are still matched today because that's what we want to see. Not just somebody who comes and participates in a program, but somebody who makes a lifelong connection and becomes a part of an ongoing village of support. And that creates a ripple effect in our community, which is really fantastic. It's been really, really wonderful to also see just the growth of the program here in Simi Valley. And I'm really excited to share that our Big and Little of the Year, a designation that we select every year, our case managers kind of go through and identify who really demonstrated the values of mentorship, the values of role modeling. Our Big and Little of the Year are actually a match from right here in Simi Valley, Jojo and Gigi. And we didn't plan it that way when we matched them. It just turned out that way. That's how it turned out. So we're going to actually be recognizing them this Saturday at our very first gala event, where they're going to be speaking and sharing more about their story. But it's been really wonderful to see how Gigi, the little sister, has grown and really thrived in our program. And she credits a lot of that herself, even at a very young age, to her big sister. Thank you, so no worries, no worries. All right, I'm gonna get the clicker working. There we go. That's okay. But as I mentioned, the focus of our mission at all times is always one-to-one mentorship and how that can really benefit the individual. But we deliver that in a lot of different ways in our program. If you can actually just advance a little bit. Oh, so the other way. Mhm. We deliver that a lot of different ways in our programs. Sometimes that's immediately introducing a young person to a mentor, like we were able to do with Gigi when we introduced her to JoJo. But sometimes that's giving young people who are facing adversity the space, like our youth room, to come in, take a breath from everything that's going on, get a moment to just be kids, and to just kind of have a conversation and begin to learn at their own pace, what does mentorship look like for me? And I think that's why we've seen so much success through our programs, because we are able to create different pathways to our mission for young people. So this year in Simi Valley, we have 14 active community-based traditional matches like JoJo and Gigi, and that includes JoJo and Gigi as our Big and Little of the Year. A number of alumni that I can't even begin to count. 19 high school mentor matches, that number is now at 22. Approximately 45 small peer group participants participate at our youth room on average each month. So these are the young folks who are coming in and asking, would mentorship be a good thing for me right now, or could I possibly see myself as a role model? Our youth room is free, and I really want to emphasize that. There's no cost to participate, and that's thanks to the partnership of our community supporters, our donors, and our staff to be able to provide a space that we can run really effectively and really impactfully. In this past fiscal year, we served over 200 participants, individual participants, youth who came into our programs, mentees who were matched, high school students who were coming in and exploring leadership with us, and also families and children in the home who weren't necessarily enrolled in our programs, but we wanted to make sure if their sibling was enrolled or the cousin who they lived with was enrolled, we were still guaranteeing that that home was safe, that they had everything that they needed to thrive over the holidays, to make sure that they weren't hungry. we were able to help make sure those wraparound services were connected. Our programs include professional case management for everyone involved. So I mentioned even for those youth who aren't formally enrolled in our programs, we are also serving other youth who are in the home. Again, just to make sure everybody has what they can to focus on enjoying our program. Our safety training and our layered background checks and ongoing safety education are top tier and in depth. And as I mentioned, we always want to make sure that we're connecting those warm referrals to make sure that everyone has what they need at all times. And to really just kind of wrap it up, I mentioned we have our CME Youth Room. This is a free program, free and accessible to everybody in the community who wants to come in and explore how mentorship might benefit them. We're always enrolling our high school mentors throughout the year. Like I mentioned, we're up to 22 high school mentors right now. We also have a youth leadership council and executive youth leaders where high school students and some middle school students can come in and begin exploring what skills are needed to really make an impact in their community. And then we have our small peer groups as well for someone who's not quite sure which direction they want to go yet. There are other programs that we offer I want to highlight. We are enrolling our program Mentor Academy right now. It's a one-to-one program. So if you can help us spread the word to folks who you think in your areas who might benefit from this program, it is for high school students to connect with a mentor who can help walk them through being prepared for what life after high school looks like. And we're setting a very, very lofty goal for 2026. We want to recruit 100 new Big Brothers across Ventura County. I would love to see Simi Valley be a big part of that effort. And lastly, this doesn't happen in a bubble. It happens because we are an active community. We have business partners, community partners, nonprofit partners, a number of whom I know are here tonight, who really come together to create an ecosystem of support for our young people. Mentorship is a critical part of that, but it's only one part of that. And so we're really, really grateful for the network that we have here in CME and the support that we have here in CME from all of those angles. So I want to say thank you again so much for inviting us to this space and to be sharing a little bit more about who we are and what we do. I want to say thank you to Councilmember Ayala for coming and visiting our youth room. Thank you so much for being a face there and a presence there. I would love to invite everybody else to come by, check us out. I'd love to show you around and introduce you to some of our matches. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Can you wait, come back for just a second? We're going to see if anyone has any questions for you. Councilmember Litster.
Thank you for being here. Do you have youth rooms in other cities, or is it just Simi Valley that is?
Simi Valley was our very first youth room. We now have one over in the city of Ventura. It's very, very different, though. While Simi Valley is a very intentional, far more of an intimate space, Ventura is actually an open storefront. So it's more of a marketing mechanism in a lot of ways to draw attention to our mission, but it is also where we are providing services, same sort of high school mentor program and youth leadership council run out of there. Very, very different dynamic. Simi Valley provides that kind of peaceful space.
Got it. And just, I thank you for the education. In my mind, Big Brother, Big Sister program focused primarily on adolescents, middle school, high school, that need. What I gathered is that you service all ages, and so maybe my question is there a specific cohort age that you focus on, or is it?
Sure, it's
any
really
age?
based on the need. We will never ever turn a young person away who's coming to us through any sort of referral or directly themselves saying, I'm interested in being matched with a mentor. The average age of young people that we serve right now is probably between 13 to 15 years old.
Got it.
But we do serve youth as young as 6. We try and start on average at age 8 because if we find at 6 years old, it takes a certain maturity level to understand what a mentor is and to understand this is not a parent figure, this is not a teacher, and to understand what that dynamic looks like. But we do have youth as young as 6 who have been able to communicate and demonstrate that. So we take it on a case-by-case basis.
Got it. And I guess my last question, which you just partially answered, I was trying to understand who identifies, who are you, for the program, who are the resources that help put a child into your program? Or
Absolutely. We get referrals from everywhere and anywhere. A lot of our referrals do come from school counselors, who do come from therapist offices, doctors' offices, a lot of folks just in our nonprofit network who are making those referrals and helping on their end to also provide wraparound referrals that we are a part of. I have, when I'm out and about at different tabling events, been approached by young people directly saying, you know, my cousin has a big, or my sibling had a big, and now I want one. So we get them from all sorts.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for your efforts. So
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Councilmember Rhodes.
All right, thank you, Madam Mayor. Councilwoman Lister asked my question about referrals to the youth room and how is that brought about. That it's open that many hours. It's staffed the entire time?
So it's open Mondays through Fridays. We have staff on site from 10 o'clock all the way until 7, which is, you know, the later evenings and later afternoons are typically when we see most of our youth coming through after school hours. We do stay open a little earlier because sometimes we have parent drop-ins, parents who want to talk. Sometimes we do get youth who pop in and you have to make a phone call over to the school, make sure everybody knows where everybody is. But our hope is to expand those hours, actually. And we want to start including weekend opportunities as well. Occasionally, we will have a weekend event, but otherwise, we want to make sure that we're open after school.
Nice. To try and get you to your 100 goal, is there any message that you would like to send out to the potential bigs who've heard this tonight and go, I'm thinking about it?
Yeah.
What do you want to say to them?
I would say think of yourself when you were 10, 13, 15 years old, and who was somebody who stepped up for you in that time, and what did that mean to you? And ask yourself, can I be that person to somebody else right now?
And now that message is out.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Councilmember Ayala.
Thank you. I think a lot of times when we think about the Big Brother, Big Sister program, we think that you're paired up with someone and then you go out, right? And what's different about this one is, like you were saying, Councilmember Rhodes, is there's the room where they can go and get help with homework, they get snack, they get dinner at no cost to them. And so this is one of those places that I don't know if, a lot of people don't know it exists there. And so to be able to go and see it, in person was really eye-opening because, again, I thought it was you pair up and then go out and do things, the two of you, right? But this is a little bit different. And so it offers a lot more than I think people believe it does. So it's a really great resource. It just happened to be that when I went that day, 2 police officers were there also visiting, just by chance. And what they were saying is they wanted to be able to, when they're out at the schools or things like that, and they see families that might have a missing parental figure in one of the kids' lives, that they could use this as a resource to say, maybe this, they might use a big brother, big sister to be able to be a part of the program. So it's really for all of us to be able to use as a resource. And Danica mentioned real quick, it's always great to see people who grew up here who are now making an impact in their own community. She graduated from Santa Susana High School, and is now making such an impact in the city that she grew up in and was raised. So we always appreciate that as well, that you stay local and help us out. So thank you for everything you do.
Shout out to Santa Sue. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got Royal and Simi up here too, so thank you, Danica, very much. We really appreciate all that you do. Big Brothers, Big Sisters is a great program, and I'm really happy to hear we're flourishing here in Simi Valley.
Thank you all very, very much, and I look forward to seeing you at the youth room.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor and members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 4, public statements. Since there are no public hearings under agenda item 5 this evening, agenda items 4 and 6 are combined, and City Council will hear all public statements under this agenda item 4. Agenda items 4 and 6 are times allotted for public statements on all items other than public hearings, appointments, and informational reports. Speakers will be called on in the order in which their card was submitted to speak for this public statements item 4 for a period of no more than 3 minutes each. Persons addressing the city council are requested to state their name and community residence for the record. Madam Mayor, unless you have any comments, we can begin public statements.
No, please proceed. Thank you. Oh, we just wanted to do a reminder on the timing. You're allowed 3 minutes. If you notice the light, for those of you that have not spoken before, there are lights on top of the lectern right there. Green will start when you start. That's your 3 minutes. The yellow will come on when you have 30 seconds left. So it kind of gives you a little bit of timing. And the red is when your time is up, just as a reminder. So thank you.
I will call 3 names at a time so you know who you follow. Thank you. Chris Chestnut, Anthony Eason, and Alin Eason.
Hello, my name is Chris Chestnut, longtime resident of Simi Valley. It appears to me that Simi Valley is a city in our county that's the furthest behind in dealing with the growing number of issues involving ICE agents terrorizing our communities. How on brand is that? We have been coming in here since at least early July demanding something be put on the agenda to address the community's concerns, and so far we've received nothing. Explain yourselves. We are already seeing the effects of the increased federal ICE budget. Just last week in Oxnard, we saw a full-on military-style invasion for only 2 people. A couple weeks prior, we saw an ICE agent T-bone their vehicle into a U.S.-born citizen's truck and then try to collaborate with the local Oxnard PD to get their stories straight together, but later had to retract their statement when multiple camera angles provided by community members showed the ICE agents were the aggressor in the situation. Are you going to wait until what's been happening in other parts of the county comes back to us again? Because it will. It is only a matter of time. We have already seen in Simi ICE ramming their vehicles into innocent people's homes, brutalize a pregnant woman in the streets, detaining U.S. citizens purely based off racial profiling. It goes on and on. So it's not a question of when these things will happen again to us, but when. Despite the rhetoric from figures in our current administration and its propaganda media machine, the data from ICE and DHS's very own websites show that these immigration raids are not about going after criminals. The vast majority of detainees are law-abiding people. They have lived here for a long time, and I believe having questionable citizenship status is in a system that by design is intentionally broken does not mean that they should be put in inhumane conditions, sent to concentration camps, foreign prisons without oversight, or war-torn countries they've never been to before, or any of these other horrible fates we've been seeing happening just this year. These federal agents are desperately trying to meet an impossible quota to meet a white nationalist agenda as prescribed by Project 2025. You are our local leaders during an incredibly pivotal moment in history. It is time to step up to meet the moment. Immediate action is needed. Fascism does not need your participation in order to work. It only needs your silence.
Good evening. My name is Anthony Eason. The following are fallacies concerning residential short-term rentals. 1, I am protected by an HOA that bans STRs. Wrong. Local municipal codes take precedence over HOA rules. If the City Council passes an ordinance to regulate STRs, making them legal, that ordinance will supersede your HOA. This city is willing to sell away your safety and community standards for some additional revenue at your expense. 2, STR occupants bring an additional spending revenue to cities. Wrong. STRs have an occupancy rate of 40 to 60%. An existing home turned into an STR does not add additional spending revenue to cities. A home that is occupied by an owner or long-term renter and is occupied 100% of the time spends more money. They are occupants who will spend money in the community all year round. 3, STRs are just mom and pops trying to make house payments and add a little extra income. Wrong. Only 1/3 of STRs are run by hosts with a single listing. The other 2/3, with 2 to 25 plus listings, are run by investors who don't care about our neighborhoods. 81% of ARBNB revenues is from homes with absentee owners. 4, existing city ordinances and codes can deal with the bad apple STRs. Wrong. These efforts don't stop bad behavior. The police already have their hands full. As the city council encourages and allows more and more STRs to open, there will be a need for more law enforcement, not less. 5, short-term rental bans do not work. Wrong. They work when cities craft strong ordinances and enforce them. Simi Valley currently has municipal code not allowing STRs. It chooses not to enforce municipal code. Look at Irvine, California, a city of more than 300,000 people with a ban of STRs since 2018 that works. It's a matter of doing what is required to make the ban work. 6, I can do whatever I want with my private property. Wrong. This has never been the case. There are ordinances and laws that affect property owners. When buying in a residential neighborhood, you are subject to local zoning ordinances that forbid certain activities incompatible with residential neighborhoods. City Council, there are things in this life that are more important than padding the city's bank account. Choose what is less harmful to our community. Don't choose to legalize and regulate. Choose to ban residential short-term rentals. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Alin Eason, and I'm a resident of Simi Valley. Here's a list of people who moved to Simi Valley to live next to a short-term rental. City Council, is money more important than residents, safety, and sanity? Why do you favor transients over residents? Isn't it your job to protect the people of Simi Valley, to protect their neighborhoods, and to protect the quality of life that Simi Valley has become known for? Each STR negatively impacts 5 to 7 surrounding homes directly. To put this in perspective, 200 STRs in an area negatively impact 1,000+ homeowners. Unfortunately, due to the lack of code enforcement, these neighbors have no one to complain to and are forced to suffer in silence. My husband, Anthony, spoke on September 15th proposing a compromise to allow residents to petition their neighborhoods to ban STRs. According to one of the council members, this cannot be done. Well, actually, in 2024, a Long Beach man became the first to successfully ban STRs in his neighborhood after a shooting and killing occurred at an STR right next door to him. He was allowed to petition his census block and ban all STRs. Will it take something tragic like this before Simi Valley decides to ban STRs? City Council, this question has been asked numerous times and never answered. I would like you to declare this evening whether any of you do or don't own rental property in Simi Valley or anywhere else. If you do, that could be taken as a conflict of interest. The community has a right to know. Your continued silence will be taken as a yes. Your decision on this matter will be remembered next year by all Simi Valley's residents. Voters will be reminded of the choice you make. Please keep our city the safe neighborhood community it is known for. The best way to do this is to ban and not legalize and regulate all residential short-term rentals in Simi Valley. Thank you.
The next 3 speakers, James McGillis, Donna Smith, and Michael Shaw.
Mayor Kavanaugh, members of the City Council and staff, I'm James McGillis, a resident of Simi Valley, California. I wear my Parents Against Santa Susana Field Lab t-shirt tonight to honor the children who have suffered in the toxic wrath and the failed cleanup upon which the City Council did not take a stand. 6 times I have come before you to inform you that residential short-term rentals could imperil the fabric of our community. Tonight I will break the 7th seal. Yesterday I braved a pack of teenage e-bikers in order to go to the now infamous Regal Cinema Center here in town. There I watched the 40th anniversary edition of Back to the Future starring Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. Set in Hill Valley, back in 1985, Michael J. Fox time travels back to 1955 in order to arrange the marriage of his parents. Turns out that the 1950s were idyllic in that town, while the 1980s were filled with graffiti and decay. Now, 40 years after that, Simi Valley faces a similar fate. Last night, I dreamed about that future. Here is that dream. In late 2025, the City Council legalized short-term rentals in Simi Valley, resulting in an exponential rise in their numbers. In 2030, after every private home on Roxbury Street was auctioned to investors, the City Council voted to rename it Poltergeist Avenue. In 2035, for lack of students, Simi Valley Unified School Board closed 1 high school, 2 middle schools, and 6 elementary schools. In 2040, all 9 former schools were sold to the Santa Susana Field Lab hedge fund, with covenants that every glow-in-the-dark housing unit would qualify as a short-term rental. In 2045, longtime independent Congressman Joseph Ayala was honored here at the City Council as it officially renamed his former council district Poltergeist Hills. In 2050, all living members of the 2025 City Council participated in the opening of the 25th anniversary STR time capsule, only to find that it was empty. In 2055, the council convened in honor of 107-year-old Simi Valley resident, James McGillis. As the sole remaining homeowner in the city, he was presented with a certificate of appreciation and a generous offer on his home. Then I awoke to the noise of a new renter checking into the so-called Honey House, an Airbnb, right next door to me. Seriously, if this City Council legalizes short-term rentals in our neighborhoods, it will serve only speculators and campaign contributors. Turning our neighborhoods into hotel districts and profit centers for this city is disrespectful to the residents. The City Council should vote now to ban all short-term rentals. Thank you.
Hello, Mayor Kavanaugh and council members. My name is Donna Smith, and I'm here on behalf of the Kiwanis Club of Simi Valley to announce our annual Great American Food Drive. This event will be held on Veterans Day, November 11th, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Simi Valley Senior Center on Avenida Simi. This will be a drive-through drop-off donation site for the collection of non-perishable food items, toiletries, and other essential items. We will also have 2 store locations where you can make a donation as well. They are Walmart Neighborhood Market on Tapo Street from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. and Sprouts Market from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. All food collected from the food drive will be distributed to our local food pantries, veteran groups, and the senior center. Many people in our own community are experiencing food insecurity, and our local food banks are struggling to meet their needs. We are reaching out to you, individuals, businesses, organizations, clubs, agencies, anyone who has the ability to help. Please, we need your support. Let's work together to make a difference in the lives of others. Thank you. And may I ask permission to give out a flyer to anyone in the crowd who may be interested? It's just telling what items. Yeah, thank you so much.
Hey, guys. Michael Shaw here, longtime Simi resident, mayor, chamber. Thank you for listening to me. I brought this, but I'm not going to test you guys. I brought this for the chief. I think he'd like to read it. It would help us all, and I hope eventually one day Lori can come and engage with us, because you should hear from her, not from me. I'm here tonight as a Kiwanis, and guess what I'm going to talk about? 4th of July. So what I'm going to ask tonight is if you guys would please put the subject of 4th of July on next month's agenda, because we as the Kiwanis, and with your support, we will head a commission, and that commission will be assembled from everybody, all the philanthropic organizations, school district, park board, you guys, everybody. will be a player to put their input in on what we want to see for 4th of July. And we have to get it together quick because we have to be able to come back to you guys real soon. I mean, we've got to send the down payment in for the fireworks the 1st of February. So at least we have to have some sense of that part of 4th of July, and we'll have those numbers to you by then. But the rest of everything, I spoke to the Rotarians. They want to all be involved. I'm sure the Elks, everybody wants to be involved. So we're going to need your help to pull this off. But the Kiwanans are going to step up and help, and hopefully we can have a grand 250th celebration. So an agenda request is all I'm asking for. Thanks, you guys. I'll talk to you later.
Mr. Shaw? Mr. Shaw? Staff reached out to the Kiwanis Club to get more information about the fireworks so that we could present information to council, and we hadn't received a response yet. So if you could see Miss Heidi DiNardo over there, she'll raise her hand, and you guys can get together and provide that information we're seeking. We'd be happy to get something on the agenda. Thanks.
Great. Thanks.
The next three speakers, Aaliyah Ewing, Aubrey Lancaster, and Heather Moss.
From what we know, flock safety system is used by over 5,000 law enforcement agencies across the country, and in more than 80,000 cameras have been installed across 49 different states. This has created a vast database that many agencies can access. This means also that ICE has backdoor access to the flock cameras, and our city is spending an obscene amount of money installing them to surveil the residents of this city. Both the Simi Valley City Manager and the Chief of Police made over $250,000 last year. This means that our tax dollars is spent, $500,000 of our tax dollars is spent annually on 2 employees in this entire city. Our government has canceled food stamps right before Thanksgiving, right before Christmas, right before some of the biggest holidays that our country celebrates. Our government employees are sitting in ivory towers while your people starve. How is that okay? How do you sleep at night knowing that there are people in your city going hungry while you sit here doing nothing? We know, Dee, that you have the ability to be able to add an item to the agenda at any point in time. You have the ability, you have the will to be able to do so. You are making a conscious decision every 2 weeks to not address your constituents directly. Why is that? Is working for your constituents, working for your people, being a public servant, is this not a role that you guys want to have? You signed up to want to listen, to hear us complain day in, day out, weeks on end. That is not a fun job to have. You guys signed up for a very annoying job to take on. And yet the bare minimum that we're asking you guys to do is to add something to the agenda, and we can't get that done. It takes Ayala to make one motion and to have one person second that motion to add something to the agenda today. Today, how come it's not being added to the agenda? How come you, Dee, haven't had the ability or want or need or will to put this on the agenda? Is it because when people are brown, their interests are just not of value to you? I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. I don't even have anything prepared. I'm coming here to you today asking you why this has not been on the agenda when we've been asking for months. It is our due diligence as a community, as a people, as a society to show up here and to advocate for ourselves. That's our responsibility in the social contract. It is your responsibility in the social contract to actually listen to the people when they come up here and to actually vote and pass on policies that we're asking you to consider. You won't even consider the safety of my people. Why? I would like an answer today. Thank you.
Good evening, council members, Madam Mayor. I'm Aubrey Lancaster from District 1, and I want to second that. And also, I want to speak to a couple of things. First, to agenda item 8A regarding our budget. I want to acknowledge how challenging these decisions are, balancing fairness to our city employees with the needs for broader community. It's never simple. That's why I'm concerned about pulling more than $750,000 from the general fund to raise police salaries. The proposal centers on parity, matching what neighboring cities pay. But that feels a bit like keeping up with the Joneses. Every city raises pay to match the next, and before long, we're all spending more without stopping to ask whether that pace is sustainable or aligned with what our residents need most right now. And right now, many of our residents are struggling. Families are facing food insecurity because of federal shutdown and suspended SNAP benefits. Healthcare costs are about to rise sharply, and local nonprofits are stretched thin trying to meet those basic needs. Tonight, you're also considering requests from the Free Clinic and the Samaritan Center, organizations that feed, house, and care for our neighbors. The same amount we're considering tonight for salary parity could more than double the reach of those programs at a moment when demand for them is urgent. I'm asking that we widen the lens and invest this money where it can do the most good for the most people right now. Sustaining our community's well-being is what ultimately keeps Simi Valley safe. And speaking of safety, in a moment when ICE activity continues in our region, Simi Valley's website still provides no public information for our immigrant residents, no legal aid links, no multilingual resources, no rapid response hotline. So tonight I'm again asking the same thing I asked in July. Please direct staff to draft a resolution modeled after Ventura's care policy. Add multilingual immigrant safety resources to the city and police department websites. Conduct and share a public review of all city policies involving federal immigration enforcement. These are concrete, achievable steps that demonstrate care for every resident of Simi Valley. Your leadership here still matters, and our community is still waiting to see it. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Good evening. My name is Heather Moss. I'm a longtime resident of Central Simi Valley and a member of the business community. I'm here again to emphasize the need for regulation of residential short-term rentals. At its core, this is about the commercialization of our neighborhoods. Simi Valley has long prohibited operating businesses out of private homes, yet STRs like Airbnb are doing exactly that, turning residential properties into pseudo-commercial lodging for transient visitors without regulation or oversight. That means fewer homes are available for residents. STRs also compete unfairly with licensed lodging establishments that follow safety rules, comply with regular inspections, collect and pay taxes, and contribute to our local economy. There is currently no regulatory oversight or safety inspection systems for STRs in Simi Valley. Many here in Simi operate with unfenced swimming pools and other hazards, yet there is no enforcement, no accountability, and no consequences for violators as these listings are active. A certain movie set house is included. The lack of city enforcement is allowing these safety breaches to remain, and a potential and tragic preventable drowning at one of these properties could easily happen. Licensed establishments collect transient occupancy tax, TOT. Simi Valley's STR operators do not. TOT could be collected automatically at the time of booking on the platforms, as many other cities do. Simi should also require every STR have comprehensive inspections, city-issued signage visible from the street, occupancy and booking limits, city registration and annual licensing fees, on-site only parking, and penalties for noncompliance. They should be held to the same standard as commercial lodging if allowed to remain. I've personally experienced the negative impact of a neighboring STR. A nearby modest single-family home was illegally divided into 3 units and had up to 18 people at a time. The Airbnbers took up all the street parking, left trash, were often boisterous, wandered, and rolled their loud suitcases on the sidewalk at all hours. One rogue group even tried to enter my home, shaking my front door, demanding entry, claiming they were staying at my house instead of the neighboring Airbnb. This kind of disruption does not belong in residential neighborhoods. Platforms like Peerspace, Swimply, and Gigster also offer hourly rentals of homes and yards for parties, events, pool gatherings, photo shoots, paranormal meetups, even doggy parties. Unregulated, untaxed, and disruptive to neighbors. At a minimum, please regulate STRs and require TOT collection. But the wiser, responsible step is to ban them altogether. Let's preserve and celebrate single-family homeownership, peaceful neighborhoods, and a safe community. Thank you.
The next three speakers, Joseph Dobzinski, John Lapper, and Fred Bauermeister.
Good evening. My name is Joseph Dobzinski Jr. I'm a resident of Camarillo. It has been over a month since we came to the City Council asking for a forum related to immigration enforcement in response to ICE ramming of a home while chasing someone on foot with their vehicle. In that time, we have yet to hear anything but promises that it will be happening at some point in the future. Meanwhile, two frightening incidents have occurred related to this topic as ICE's escalation of tactics regarding supposed immigration enforcement. First, ICE viciously pursued and rammed the car of Leo Martinez of VC Defensa in Oxnard, then lied to local law enforcement about the action. ICE claimed that Leo rammed their car first, which is why they rammed his car in retaliation. However, video evidence clearly showed that Leo was trying to break off pursuit from ICE and that ICE rammed his car first before ramming him subsequently afterwards. This incident, along with the many other incidents of ICE being conveniently flexible with the truth when dealing with protesters and community volunteers, shows that we should expect local law enforcement to verify claims by ICE rather than taking them at face value. ICE's lack of truthfulness is part of the current public safety crisis that is eroding trust in law enforcement as a whole. Second, last week, ICE brought into Oxnard at least 16 known raid and enforcement vehicles filled with at least 30 federal agents and a Bearcat to issue a single warrant for 2 people on North 8th Street. The federal agents used brutal force and chemical agents indiscriminately during their operation, often brandishing their non-lethal and lethal weaponry at protesters. This enforcement operation was so egregious that even Mayor MacArthur, a 30-year veteran of law enforcement, is pushing back against these incidents. And I'm sure their city council meeting tonight will be full of comments about it. For the record, Oxnard Police Department did nothing, which is frankly also further eroding trust in law enforcement as public safety officers are not protecting public safety. A public forum regarding immigration enforcement and/or an immigration stakeholders meeting for Simi Valley would go a long way to trying to restore trust within the Simi Valley community. Aside from ICE, I also want to point out, as I did at the Camarillo City Council, that Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon is conducting an investigation into flock cameras that have been set up throughout the nation. A recent investigation has shown that flock data, rather than being available only to the use of their local law enforcement for targeted inquiries, has rather been compromised to allow ICE's HSI division, the Secret Service, and the U.S. Navy, at a minimum, access to flock data without the approval of local law enforcement agencies or any meaningful auditing. Another investigation has showed that flock cameras are also easy targets for malware and data scraping. The City Council should be working with the Simi Valley Police Department and the Flock Corporation to investigate this malicious use as soon as possible, and frankly, turning off flock cameras until clear answers and protections are put in place. Finally, I just want to say that your policy for reducing public comment time based on the number of public commenters is a travesty to the democratic process. Public comment is one of the few ways that people can actively participate in local governments, and to limit that based on an increase in participation might be convenient for all of you on the dais, but it means that the public have their right to expression abridged unnecessarily. Please reconsider that policy.
Mr. John Lapper.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, City Council. Good evening, City Attorney. You guys all remember me. I told you guys all about the fire, the hazards, and the freeway. None of this stuff has been taken care of. I hope somebody has an answer for me tonight. Does anybody? I'm asking that right now.
This is public comment. We're not allowed to respond to you. It's not on the agenda.
It's not on the agenda.
Lucy,
I was
are
coming
you-
here
fixing
to
his
ask
time?
for, I've been here 7 months ago. I'm coming for a review. I talked to somebody this morning, said I was coming.
Okay, we'll reach out to city staff to find out who you spoke with.
I did. I did that. I did that. This was the first thing I was going to do tonight. Ask for that. That's why I did this. Second of all, I have new stuff. Right here is the old stuff. I'm going to give this to you guys. That's for them. Now, I have new stuff on Easy Street and Madera, fire hazard. And on Easy Street, I understand from Easy Street down to Moore Park Limited, yeah, I understand that's all zoning. That all has to be cleaned up, left and right side. I don't understand why the city of Simi Valley is just letting this stuff grow. Seems ridiculous. But nobody is taking care of this stuff. This town is becoming a junkyard. 2 weeks ago, somebody wrote in the Acorn that this stuff has to stop. Or like someone said, the ballot next November, watch out. Thank you very much. This is all for you guys as well.
Mayor and City Council, first I'd like to congratulate our Los Angeles Dodgers on their World Series championship. Yay! Second, I want to thank Councilman Ayala and city staff for expediting public statements being emailed to the City Council. I'll also thank Council members Rhodes, Ayala, and Litster for responding to my emailed concerns about some in Simi Valley wanting to ban all short-term rentals in Simi. Of course, Mayor Pro Tem Judge never responds to me, and I know Mayor Kavanaugh voted to ban the STRs. I'm hopeful an ordinance will be drafted that addresses the concerns of those affected by the STRs and allow Airbnb to continue providing this most economical value and convenience for families visiting Simi, whether for a wedding, family, reunion, or other events. We are not Hollywood Hills. I'd also like to see Simi Valley Public Works get a grip on all the frequent traffic light outages. Royal and Fourth was out again today. I'd also like to compliment the up to 3,000 residents of Simi Valley who showed up for the No Kings protest in Simi. It was totally peaceful, with traffic control and zero resources needed from the Simi Valley PD. Although the council may be on opposite sides politically, you should stop by next time and say hello to the other half of Simi Valley. As the parents for the Santa Susana Field Lab cleanup continue their fight, I would encourage this city council to finally support our cause in protecting the residents of Simi Valley. I was very pleased to also see the 2 minors accused of hate crimes in Simi Valley admit to their guilt. Thank you, John Lapper.
The next 3 speakers, Doug Landon, Anika Sumbi, and Carla Castilla.
We haven't had Fred Baumeister.
I apologize, he did not wish to speak.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members and city staff. Good to see you. My name is Doug Landon from the Samaritan Center, Board President. I'd like to just share a few highlights of our board meeting we had a couple of weeks ago. First item is a new fundraising event we're going to have this spring. We're calling it the Second Chance Prom Dance. We've been searching for the fundraising event for the Samaritan Center to be a major fundraiser. And through a lot of review and input, this is what we selected. So please stay tuned for more information on that event. We'll have sponsors, and it'll be just a great time of dancing and dancing night away and celebrating for a good cause, taking care of the Samaritan Center and engaging with our mission. The second item I want to mention is Giving Tuesday matching commitment. So our board of directors have pledged individually and as a group to match Giving Tuesday donations up to $10,000 for this coming December. So double the impact of the community contributions, thereby raising more funds for the Samaritan Center general budget. And the third item is a thrift store initiative we're looking into and developing a mobile thrift store concept to sell excessive donations that we get from the Samaritan Center. We get thousands of pounds of donated clothes that we can't use. We support anyone that comes to the center that is unhoused with clothes, but there's a lot of donations we can pass on and perhaps make revenue and return it to the community, have a reduce waste of clothes, and then expand within our community that opportunity and take the mobile trailer to different events in the community. So look forward to that. We're looking for private funding to start this project in the near future. So as a board, I just want to thank City Council and staff for partnering with the Samaritan Center in addressing the critical needs of the unhoused and low-income residents in our community. We remain fully committed to working together with you and our community partners provide essential supportive services. Your consideration and approval for Agenda 9, the COVID-19 grant, recovery grant, is certainly requested, and to provide additional funding so we can continue the enhanced services. Thank you very much for your time.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mayor Kavanaugh, council members, and city staff. My name is Annika Zambi. I'm the Executive Director of the Samaritan Center. I know you all know me. On behalf of the Samaritan Center, I want to begin by sincerely thanking you for your continued partnership and support through the city's ARPA funding that we've received since October of 2022. Your investment over the last 3 years has been transformational, not just for our organization, but for hundreds of Simi Valley residents whose lives have been directly impacted by it. Before ARPA, the Samaritan Center operated with limited capacity. Just as an example, in 2021-2022, in that fiscal year, we completed 83 case management intakes and helped 8 individuals secure housing. With ARPA support, those numbers have more than doubled. Last fiscal year alone, we served over 180 clients with case management and helped 26 people secure stable housing. The funding also allowed us to provide enhanced services that simply didn't exist before 3 years ago. Through this partnership, we've been able to offer car repairs and registrations that kept people working and mobile, motel nights for individuals and families in crisis, relocation and transportation assistance, helping clients reunite safely with family to start new jobs, gas cards, bus passes, and essential pantry supplies. Small but critical support that bridge the gap between crisis and stability. These are tangible local outcomes that demonstrate how the city's investment directly strengthens our community in their well-being and safety. Behind every number, there is a person with a renewed sense of hope. People like Maria, for example, who came to us for help, regained her footing, and now volunteers in our kitchen every week just to give back to others walking on the same path. Simi Valley has no overnight permanent shelter, and the Samaritan Center remains the only drop-in resource for our unhoused neighbors. The ARPA partnership allowed us to expand our staffing, outreach, and emergency services to meet that growing need. As we look ahead to December 25, we're not asking to start something new. We're asking to sustain what's been working. The city's investment has proven effective, accountable, and deeply impactful. With continued support, we can maintain the enhanced level of care this community deserves, keeping people safe, housing as many as
Sorry,
possible.
Annika, your time is up.
And my time is up. I'm done. Thanks for your time and your continued support. We appreciate this partnership.
Hello, my name is Carla Costilla. I've been a resident here for over 23 years, and I'm also a business owner here in Simi Valley. First, I want to thank you, Councilman Ayala, for your email response to my concerns regarding the agenda item regarding ICE. As the powerful voices before me have stated, tonight marks the third City Council meeting since you said an official discussion of immigrant and customs enforcement collaboration and operations within the city would be added to the agenda. We want to know when that will happen, and at this point, what exactly are the reasons you won't do it? Unelected Mayor Kavanaugh, you have the power to add any item as it's been stated before, so we demand you do your job. As the first speaker, Chris, said, we've been here since mid-July asking for this, and let me tell you, we're not asking you anymore. We're demanding that you declare that you, Mayor Kavanaugh, and the city of Simi Valley oppose ICE raids within our city limits. I'm tired and I'm sick of being here and seeing your blank faces up there every meeting since. I almost didn't come again today because it feels like my personal efforts aren't going anywhere, and I'm actually sick right now. My spirit is fragile at the moment, but these people behind me and in these chambers and those at home are the ones that are giving me strength. I'm here again because the forces fighting against us, our families, friends, and neighbors will not grow tired, and they will not stop. I'm here to stand for those whose voices cannot be heard and who live in fear every single day since this administration came to power. We also demand that you meet directly with local organizers and community advocates who are supporting families affected by ICE activity, and maybe you can learn what you can do to help us in the community and how much we have done on our own without you all. We also demand that you, council, introduce and pass an ordinance to ban ICE from conducting operations in Simi Valley. It's not that hard. Restrict access to city data with all those flock cameras you keep putting up over the city, facilities, and other municipal resources, and mandate these federal agents be unmasked and display proper identification while performing official duties, like we all know they have not been doing. As the other person before me talked about the incident in Oxnard with, ICE agents ramming their cars into houses here in Simi Valley and into cars in Oxnard. What are you guys waiting for? For something like Chicago to happen and get someone shot in the street and die? Because that's gonna happen eventually if you guys don't do something about it. At least talk to your police officers, because that's ridiculous. We know they're collaborating, officially or unofficially. If we have no justice, there will be no peace. What do we want? Justice. And when do we want it? Now!
I'm sorry, your time is up. Thank you.
The last three speakers, Ruth Webanos, Jamie Sanchez, and Douglas Lipsky. Well, he already spoke.
Thank you, Lucy. I think I put the wrong number on that. Good evening, council members, mayor. I'm here to talk to you about three things. The first one, which I really bothers me, is that none of you have ever been to a CPUC meeting. East Simi Valley was without power for almost 3 days because of another PSPS shutdown by greedy SoCal Edison, who made $1.69 billion with a B dollars in profits last year in 2024. And when I asked if they were gonna reimburse me for all the groceries that went bad for my husband's medicine, which cost $700 that went bad because I didn't have power for 3 days, they said, oh yes, go to the website. My husband went to the website. It says they will not reimburse you for any weather-related shutdowns. So all of the people in East Simi Valley, from Yosemite to Cunor, who are without power for 3 days, are not going to get 1 penny reimbursed. And you know they cut off SNAP benefits. You know that people are living paycheck to paycheck in the city. And the only two elected officials who have ever shown up to a CPUC meeting was former Mayor Mashburn as a firefighter and myself, to ask them to stop shutting down the power. My parents live in Sylmar, 3 blocks from where they've had massive wildfires, and DWP has never shut down their power, ever. So I need you to step up and obey your oath, honor your oath. And speaking of oaths, let's talk about ICE. Because SB 54 was a California state law passed on October 5th, 2017. The California Values Act ensures that no state and local resources are used to assist federal immigration enforcement, and that our schools, our hospitals, and our courthouses are safe spaces for everyone in our community, for everyone. That's what it says. Every single one of you elected officials up there swore an oath to the California Constitution. That means you swore an oath to uphold SB 54, whether you like it or not. Some of you claim that you're pro-law enforcement, but you don't want to enforce the law that you swore an oath to. You don't want to enforce California law. You don't want to protect our residents here. But you went ahead and you said you don't want to take sides when it comes to immigration issues. But on May 30th, you had no problem doing that, 2018. On June 25th, 2018, you had no problem doing that. No issues whatsoever. So when it suits you, when it's not uncomfortable for you, then that's when you decide to stand up. If it was a developer, you'd be standing up real fast. That'd be on the agenda yesterday, if it was about you making money. And please fix the disastrous road work on Yosemite and Cochrane when they fix the pipes. Our street looks worse than it was before. Thank you.
Before I begin, I'd like to acknowledge that we are gathered on land originally belonged to the Chumash people. While they are often recognized during Native American Heritage Month, it's important to remember that they are not native to the specific area, but they have had a lasting and significant presence across the region. We honor their history, resilience, and continued contributions to our community. Good evening, my name is Jamie Sanchez, and I'm a longtime resident of Simi Valley. Last time I spoke before this council, I shared my experience as a survivor of domestic violence. It wasn't easy, but I did it because too many people are afraid to speak up. Silence only protects the problem. I'll keep using my voice for those who can't. As a veteran, I have served my country and upheld a commitment to protect and serve others. That service has taught me the value of duty, accountability, and integrity, values I expect from our city leadership as well. It is disheartening and unacceptable to hear city leaders make light of addiction and joke about serious challenges facing our community. If we are truly here to serve the people, then we must act with seriousness and compassion, not to dismiss the very issues that affect our neighbors. The community market still hasn't been addressed. The outreach worker who worked at Crunch Gym, ironically, was transferred to Northridge, and the permit delays continue. This marketplace is more than an event. It is an opportunity for connection, inclusion, and economic growth, especially for local and veteran-owned businesses. Simi Valley is home to many cultures and backgrounds. Nearly 30% of our residents are Hispanic, yet too many families live in fear because of ICE actions. Parents are detained or deported, children are left without guidance, and entire families are traumatized. This fear erodes trust, participation, and safety in our broader community. As a veteran who values service and justice, I expect our leaders to stand up for every member of our community, not let fear dictate who is protected. Tonight, I am formally requesting that 3 items be placed on future City Council agenda. Recognition of November as Indigenous Heritage Month with accurate acknowledgement of our region's history, a public discussion about the community marketplace permits, and funding or partnership opportunities for immigrant and Hispanic organizations to promote equity and inclusion. Finally, when we talk about public safety, we must also talk about balance. A large portion of the city's budget goes to the police department, and that safety should extend to everyone in our community, not just some. Let's refocus on what truly builds our city. inclusion, compassion, accountability, unity, and community. And let me say this clearly. We owe justice to those who have been wronged, protection to those who live in fear, and opportunity to those who are held back. Also, I'd like to say happy birthday to Michael Robinson, who is finally deserving justice for what happened to him. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, that was the last speaker. And next on the agenda is item 4A, City Council comments regarding public statements.
Do you have any comments? Councilmember Rhodes?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. To all that came out to speak, thank you very much. Thank you for spending your time and your evening to come out and address the issues that are important to you. I want to address, we can't address all of them that come before us, but we can make brief comments. To my STR people, I, at last meeting, reached out directly and gave you my personal cell phone number. I've yet to hear from you. I'd like to involve you in the discussion, and yet I've not had any contact. I stood right with you. I handed my card to you. So, to the Samaritan Center folks, thank you for all you're doing and the progressive things that you're thinking about doing with fundraising. I think that's outstanding. I have a personal success story from the PADS program I wanted to just share briefly. As a volunteer for the PADS program, which I'm very proud of, I got to befriend one of the clients. And one of those clients just recently reached out to me and asked for help. I was able to take him to my barber, got him a nice shave and a haircut. I arranged a job interview, and the rest was up to him. I'm proud to say that he's starting his new job on Friday. So, and that was a result of the PADS program allowing people to be introduced. And I think that's the end of my comments.
Thank you. Councilmember Ayala?
For the STR friends that we have, I just want you to know that regardless of if the STRs become legal but regulated, that all of your comments that you bring up are very useful, because I think that, again, if it were to pass, I think you would find that a lot of the suggestions that you're bringing up and concerns are going to be built into that ordinance. So you're making it a lot stronger by being here and sharing your concerns. For the discussion on the immigration front, yes, I had brought this forward as an agenda, or to be on the agenda, and I should have been more diligent in making sure that it was there. And so I need to own that. And so I will be requesting a meeting with the mayor and city manager to align on what that date is going to be. And that's it for me. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilmember Litster?
Thank you. Lots of topics discussed tonight. Great. I appreciate everyone. I will just quickly go through just some notes I made in order of speaking. Alan Eason, you wanted to know if any of us, you want us to make a statement whether or not we own rental properties or not. I will be very honest, I do not own rental property here in Simi Valley, and so if that is important, just be aware too, though, that whenever we discuss something and we have a nexus, we're required to recuse ourselves. And I think certainly if owning potential STRs in Simi Valley would be a reason for recusing ourselves. So thank you for asking for that. Comment for Donna Smith, amazing president who just stepped down after 2 years of serving as the Kiwanis Club, and yet here she is tonight talking about the food drive. I helped in the past. This is a fabulous drive, so everyone participate with that. Mr. Michael Shaw, who I think just left a bit ago, he brought the book to give to the chief. I wanted him to know that I read it on the airplane literally yesterday, cover to cover. Great book. So I wanted to say thank you to him. I don't sure I've got the name correctly. The gentleman who had new stuff and he was concerned about Easy Street in Madera needing to be cleaned up, et cetera. Yes, you're right there. Sorry. Obviously, we want a beautiful community. Some of the places you're describing is not within our city limits. It doesn't mean we shouldn't be. If so, it doesn't mean we shouldn't be doing it. But you mentioned Easy. I'm sorry. This is my time. You can talk to me afterwards. You talked about Easy Street in Madera, which I'm hearing you, and so I will speak with staff to specifically look at that area, and feel free to discuss it with me later, because I appreciate, and we'll look at the materials you gave us. Mr. Lapper, thank you for being our Dodger representative tonight. You rock. And also, I concur, the light outage, I too spoke with Ron about it as well today. He's aware that there's been some increasing light outages, and we need to be aware of that. Doug Landon, thank you for Second Chance Prom Dance, great title. Actually, all of your things that were discussed sound like excellent fundraising programs. I'm glad you're doing all of that. Thank you, all of you who spoke with your concerns about safety and ICE, et cetera. Thank you, Carla, who's here, even though she is sick, going above and beyond. Thank you for continually representing. And yes, I know that we will be discussing that item. And finally, Jamie Sanchez, thank you. Gold's Gym and that marketplace, that is, I'm sorry, Crunch, I said the wrong, I meant Crunch, excuse me. That, I believe, is in my district area. I really want it to happen successfully. Please reach out to me individually, and I'd love to have a conversation about how we can make that return and be within requirements and successful. So that concludes my remarks. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Judge.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I first wanted to say to John Lapper, thank you for representing the Dodgers also. That was the best World Series I've ever seen in my life. Second, I don't own rental property in the city of Simi Valley. Third, thank you all for coming out tonight and voicing your First Amendment rights and speaking to your city council. A lot of times when you come up here and we can't talk back, so we should mention that more often, I guess, just so everybody knows. We're not being rude. We're not allowed to. It's a violation of the law. But thank you all for coming out tonight.
Thank you. Thank you again for everyone coming out and expressing your different opinions, your thoughts, your ways we can do things better in Simi Valley. We will do our best. We're not perfect, but we will keep trying. We do have links to food resources are available on our city website on the homepage. And it also just went out information in our City Focus newsletter that just went out yesterday, I believe. So there are at least some uses there. Kiwanis doing the Great Food Drive on Thursday, the 11th, will be very helpful also to help fund our food banks. Samaritan Center, we continue to support you for everything that you do for our community. We really appreciate that, as well as the free clinic, the different things that they offer, so thank you. I had thought about doing for the Chumash, the Native Americans. I'd read that somewhere, and I said, we need to do a resolution for that, so thank you for that. And Ms. Levinos, I didn't personally attend a CPUC meeting, but I did attend the one where the city of Simi Valley sent a letter directly to the chairman saying, we can't handle this anymore. That was like 3 years ago, and things have gotten worse. They haven't gotten better. She even specifically spoke with Mayor, at the time, Mayor Mashburn on that call. So we will continue to look at that. I've been talking with the city manager about one or two little things we could possibly do, because it seems to be the same area that gets hit up. And so we're gonna be looking at a little something to see if we can help improve that particular area, especially. And Councilmember Litzer will work on the Crunch Marketplace. I know that was a big deal. And everyone else, thank you for all you do for making our community a great place. And yes, thank you for representing the Dodgers today. That was great. A lot of sleepless, very late nights, but they earned it. So that's all. Thank you.
And if I can just say, Dee Dee.
I'm sorry, City Manager.
Staff had been working with the Crunch Marketplace to try to get them up and running. We'll get the council an update on that, but I know that the conversations had been ongoing.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor and members of City Council, next on the agenda is item 7, the consent calendar, and there are no resolutions for your consideration this evening.
Thank you. I think that's the first time I've not had something on the consent calendar that I remember. Or is there? Wait, sorry.
sorry.
Oh, my form doesn't have anything.
No, I'm sorry. Is this the time to pull items for consent calendar?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to, I'm sorry.
That's right. Councilmember Litzer?
Thank you. The one item that I would like to have just further discussion is the item number 4. Contracting for high volt electric for the construction emergency generators project.
Mr. Fuchiwaki, can you come on up?
I move the rest of the consent items.
Call for the vote.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Mr. Fujiwaki. Actually, I had some questions for him earlier today, and he was most helpful in answering those questions and doing research for me, but I wanted to pull the item just so that we could have just a brief discussion as a body. Basically, in a nutshell, this provides for basically generators, and this kind of goes to the SCE, PSPS shutdowns, and so this is an extension of Ms. Luevanos' concerns. But basically, this is to provide, if I understand correctly, backup power for 3 areas where we pump 3 pumps and then another area. My question, I wanted to just to understand, in our conversation, basically, these generators will provide, it doesn't actually power the pumps themselves, but it powers maybe switches for on and off, the arm, et cetera. Would you explain exactly what this powers and what else we need for backup power for the water itself?
Sure. This particular contract is to install some smaller generators. And when I say small, they're probably the size of this table and maybe a little bit taller. They'll run on diesel, and they're meant to, they're small voltage. They're meant to run more of the electronics, your SCADA system, perhaps your electronic gates if you have them, a radio system, and things like that. Some of your routine kind of things that you can plug into your wall socket. In terms of what we need for when we have pump stations that go down due to electrical outages, that's when we bring in our big, what we call trailer-mounted generators, which are probably as tall as the screen and probably as long. We have a variety of sizes, but they're humongous generators. For example, the small generators we're putting in are 20 kV. The ones we're going to be putting out for pump stations are 300 to 400 kV. So those are the big ones that you need all the energy for the pump stations.
And are we, I guess I just want to understand the size to keep our water flowing, backup systems. We're being asked to spend $400,000 today for these 4 pumps, or excuse me, for these 4 areas, 3 pumps in the 4th area. Is that the end of the ultimately financially what is needed to keep our water flowing if there's a shut off, or is there more that is needed? Do we have adequate?
Actually, I think it's just the first
tip of the iceberg?
Tip of the iceberg. I couldn't think of it right now. But yeah, tip of the iceberg. Basically, and we may talk about it at the next meeting, there was a new bill passed that requires Ventura County water suppliers to provide backup generators and things like that. So all of our pump stations will be needing to buy and install and construct new large generators, on-the-ground generators, similar to what we have in Simi Valley. And I think so far we've estimated that to be about $21 million to provide all the backup power we need for all our pump stations to keep the water flowing.
And that's the Bennett bill that has...
I believe it's Bennett bill, yes.
And our portable that we have currently is not adequate. That doesn't meet the need there, the portable
Well, again, it's portable. It will provide the power we need, but it is when we put them in, or when we need them, we have to trailer them out to the site, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Our goal is to provide on the ground, in place backup generators, so All we really, and there'll be an automatic switch, power goes out, generator goes on, and all we need to do is monitor the diesel fuel levels to ensure they keep running.
Okay, and thank you. And to go, I know the mayor, I'm sure the attorney wants to be sure I'm really on task with this actual item. But, you said these are diesel powered,
Yes.
and do we have diesel storage? How do we fuel these new backup?
We have diesel pumps at the PSC, and we have a diesel trailer, or a trailer that hauls diesel fuel. I think they told me it's about 1,000 gallons. And what they do is they fill it up when needed, and they go out to the various, depending on how many generators are placed out at the various pump sites, then they fill them up, et cetera.
Okay, and my last question, thank you for discussing this with me. This has come about primarily because of the PSPS events. Is that accurate statement? Previous, was there a need for this?
Well, anytime the power goes out, we need backup generation. It became obviously more critical with all of the PSPS occurrences, but anytime a normal power outage occurs, we have to be ready to place our emergency generators to keep the water flowing.
Okay, well, I appreciate, thank you for your answers, and I'm not, certainly I think we have to prove this. I just want an awareness of what these PSPS events are costing the city directly. So, thank you.
Need a motion to approve item 4?
I will motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Call for the vote.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor and members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 8A, adoption of a resolution approving the memorandum of understanding with the Simi Valley Police Officers Association and approve a supplemental budget request. The reading of the resolution is as follows. Resolution number 2025-32, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Simi Valley amending the memorandum of understanding between the City of Simi Valley and the Simi Valley Police Officers Association and rescinding resolution number 2023-11 and all previous resolutions to the extent that they are in conflict herewith. Assistant City Manager Luis Garibay and Senior Human Resources Analyst Shannon Nash are here to present this item.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight for your consideration is a resolution approving a memorandum of understanding between the city and the Simi Valley Police Officers Association. We initially discussed this item and the terms of this 2-year agreement at the October 20th City Council meeting. There's been no changes made since that time. Just to quickly recap, some of the significant changes included a 5% salary increase effective the first pay period following City Council adoption, the elimination of the bottom 3 steps of the police officer salary range to help with recruitment efforts, a 5% salary increase in 2026 that would be effective the first full pay period during that time, and then SemiFlex allocations of $2,500 per month in this current or the 2026 plan year and $2,600 per month in the 2027 plan year, along with other minor changes that were made to clean up and clarify some language and remove some of the outdated references. The total contract cost is anticipated to be, or is estimated to be, approximately $4.2 million. To cover the year 1 cost, we're going to be using approximately $811,000 in personnel savings realized from vacancies. That should cover about 52% of that cost. As part of the council's action tonight, staff is requesting that we allocate an additional $765,844 from the city's general fund balance to cover that remaining cost for the 25-26 fiscal year. For year 2, the amount would be budgeted as part of the fiscal year 2026-2027 annual budget process for the city. With that, staff is available to answer any questions. Thank you very much.
Councilmember Rhodes?
Madam Mayor, I move to adopt resolution number 2025-32 to approve the memorandum of understanding with the Simi Valley Police Officers Association and approve the appropriation of $765,844 from the general fund balance for fiscal year 25-26.
Second.
Thank you. Call for the vote.
The motion passes unanimously. Madam Mayor and members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 8B, adopt a resolution approving the memorandum of understanding with the Simi Valley Police Managers Association and approve a supplemental budget request. The reading of the resolution is as follows. Resolution number 2025-33, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Simi Valley amending the memorandum of understanding between the City of Simi Valley and the Simi Valley Police Managers Association and rescinding resolution number 2023-12 and all previous resolutions to the extent that they are in conflict herewith. Assistant City Manager Luis Garibay and Senior Human Resources Analyst Shannon Nash are presenting this item as well.
Good evening again, Mayor and City Council. Again, tonight for your consideration is a resolution to approve a memorandum of understanding between the city and the Simi Valley Police Managers Association. Again, you initially discussed the terms of the proposed MOU at the October 20th City Council meeting. No changes have been made to those terms, and no correspondence was received from that period to this one as well. Some of the significant changes included a 5.5% salary increase following the first pay period after council adoption, a 4.5% salary increase effective the first full pay period in July 1st, 2026, the elimination of the bottom two pay ranges to address some compaction issues, and then similarly with the Simi Flex allocation of $2,500 per month for the 2026 plan year and $2,600 per month for the 27 plan year. There was also an adjustment to the accrual leave, annual leave accrual rates by 30 minutes per each pay period for both levels of years of service of 5 or more and under 5 or more, along with other minor changes that we've discussed before to clean up language and then remove outdated information. The total contract cost for the MOU is estimated at $489,115. As part of tonight's council's action tonight, staff is also requesting an additional budget allocation of $87,324 to cover a supplemental budget request to cover the additional amount needed to cover year one. For year two, the amounts would be budgeted as part of our normal budget process to cover those total costs. Staff is available to answer any questions. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Any questions? Comments? May I have a motion?
Madam Mayor, I move to adopt Resolution 2025-33 to approve the memorandum of understanding with the Simi Valley Police Managers Association and approve the appropriation of $87,234 from the general fund balance for fiscal year 25-26.
Second.
Thank you. Call for the vote.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor and members of City Council, next on the agenda is item 9A, update on the COVID-19 Community Recovery Grant Program and request direction for use of remaining funds. And Senior Management Analyst Heidi DiNardo is here to present this item.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. Tonight, staff's presenting an update on the COVID-19 Community Recovery Grant Program and requests direction of the use of the remaining funds. As you know, the American Rescue Plan Act, signed into law in March 2021, provided $350 billion to assist local governments in addressing the impacts of COVID-19. The City of Simi Valley received just over $15.3 million. Of this, $10 million was allocated to streets and roads improvements, $1 million was awarded to the Rancho Simi Recreation and Park District for their pool rehabilitation project, and the balance was directed towards community recovery projects. As federal guidance evolved, the city claimed the full allocation as revenue loss and transferred the funds to the general fund, allowing greater flexibility and eliminating federal compliance restrictions. This flexibility enabled the creation of the COVID-19 Community Recovery Grant Program, which funded a range of nonprofit and business recovery projects. To date, all approved COVID-19 Community Recovery Grant Program contracts have been awarded, and the program has a remaining balance of approximately $1.3 million. Of this amount, $400,000 was set aside for the Household Home Repair and Assistance Program, but no vendor could be identified. The remainder includes small balances across multiple project categories. 2 organizations have submitted funding requests for council's consideration. The Free Clinic of Simi Valley seeks a one-time allocation of $147,266.26 to complete a previously approved HVAC replacement project at their Royal Avenue facility. And the Samaritan Center is requesting $121,000 annually for 3 years, totaling $363,000. This will continue case management, housing assistance, and food pantry services for vulnerable residents. I'd like to note that there is no financial impact to the general fund, as these funds have already been allocated in the fiscal year 23-24 budget. Tonight, staff requests the City Council receive and file the program update and provide direction regarding the use of the remaining funds. Thank you. I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Ms. DiNardo. Are there any questions from council? Councilmember Ayala?
A comment and then a question. In regards to the request from the Free Clinic, I think it's important to also know that the unit that is being asked to be installed just doesn't benefit them. It also benefits all of the other nonprofits that are in that building. So I think it's a really great investment because it's helping the Big Brothers Big Sisters program that came before us today, For the Need, Soaring Spirit, Sarah's House, etc. So even though it came under the umbrella of that organization, I think it's great to know that it's helping multiple nonprofits with that one grant. The other question, the question I have for you, and I know representatives from the Samaritan Center are here as well, is there a reason that we space it over 3 years, or could it just be a one-time upfront grant?
It can be a one-time upfront. Initially, when the program was designed, it was a multi-year, they were multi-year contracts for many of the nonprofits and for-profits. Like, for example, the EDC-VC, they are still on a multi-year contract and it with no end date unless one of us decides, either the council or they decide to cancel the contract. So what we found was that most had a 3-year contract, and then some, such as Rancho Simi Recreation and Park, had one-time funding, such as the $1 million. Here's your project, $1 million, just give us a report when you're done, was the requirement of it.
Does the city prefer that it be spaced over 3 years for a specific reason? Or if the Samaritan Center wanted it in upfront, what would your preference be?
I believe that the Samaritan Center asked for it. Is that correct, Ms. DiNardo?
They did ask for it, which is probably, and I'll let them speak for themselves. Sure. If you'd like to come on up, Annika or Doug. What I gather is they were following suit from the first contract that was awarded over a multi-year. If it was staff's wish, if you will, it would be one-time funding.
Okay, so with that.
Yes, we did ask for 3 years simply because that was what it was in the past. We are perfectly fine with a one-off. It gives us a lot more flexibility and might make reporting a lot easier for city staff actually as well.
It can be.
So yes, we would absolutely be fine with that.
Does it help with any of the grants that you have that would be reimbursable?
Yes, it does.
Because I know we've talked before where some of the grants you have to actually pay the money up front first and then you get reimbursed after you spend the money, is that right?
And was part of it, it was like that as well, that we send quarterly invoices to get reimbursed. There were a few items that we could request money up front. Again, it's a lot more different requests, so yes, it would actually make it easier for us and I believe the city as well.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Councilmember Litzter.
Do you still want us here? Okay. Just checking. We can stay.
I'm sorry, turn my mic on. So obviously, one-time allocations were the original intent. Or if I'm not mistaken, the funds were originally intended to be used for something that, when I say one time, that is a finite project, not necessarily ongoing.
Not necessarily. For example, the Boys and Girls Club were awarded a 3-year allocation.
Got it.
And each
Okay.
year, 50,000 or 40,000, excuse me, goes towards their childcare.
Got it.
Or after
Okay.
school. So not
Not
necessarily
necessarily
one time.
just a fixed item. Okay, I appreciate that understanding. And actually, ironically, the free clinic, I think, I concur, very deserving and absolutely want to get that done, Fred. The building, if I'm not mistaken, is owned by the county, and I really wish they would take care of it for you. I'm just saying that right now. But I understand they're generous with their rent, and so we want to do our part too. So anyway, my question actually is, actually, it was very interesting, thank you, Heidi, to get the breakdown of where these funds were all going. And so I went carefully, before I got to the second appendix, was carefully figuring it all out. And then when I got the next one, I realized you had done the work for me after I did it, but our numbers match. I just want you to know
Good,
that,
thank you.
Heidi. So you did, they were spot on.
Still have a job.
Yeah,
Great.
you did. But my question actually is an understanding of some of these other funds. For instance, we have $350,000 remaining for temporary staffing for EDC. They were allocated $400,000, and they've been awarded $50,000 so far. Can you explain what that grant is for?
Yes. So, well, in that particular bucket, if you will, which was, there were 28 projects, I get project lists that initially started from ARPA, where there were different categories that that City Council was aligning of where they chose. So when the budget for $400,000 was for temporary staffing, the only agency that requested money for additional staffing is the EDCVC, and it's $25,000 to help monitor the loan program that we have, that they have for us here at the city. And actually, it was only going to be $25,000, period. But we ended up paying an additional year just to keep the program because they were really trying to get the word out, because not a lot of businesses have actually requested business loans, believe it or not. So they have not requested any further funding at this time under their other bucket, which they have for, it would be Business Revolving Loan Fund. So we're currently just sitting on that money, even though it's allocated to them, but we're holding it until they're requesting funding.
Okay, got it. Thank you, appreciate that explanation. So if my math is correct, if we were to fund the full ask between both entities, we are talking about $510,000, is that correct?
That would be about correct. I did not add that.
That's right, I'm just trying to understand, okay. And of that, if I'm not mistaken, currently, if lumped together, there's $145,655.50 still remaining in the vulnerable people case management, homeless housing, and behavioral health care. Basically, the buckets that have serviced these areas, correct?
Yes, if you combined housing and case management.
Correct. If we
yes.
combine it all together,
Yes.
we would have basically just over $145,000 that is already allocated potentially for those services.
Correct.
So the additional ask really is about $365,000 that would come from somewhere
If you
else.
choose to award the
If
two
we chose to
nonprofits.
award, got it. Which is interesting, very close to that EDC temporary staffing figure. But anyway, but that's neither here nor there, just interesting.
I will interject, when these project choices, if you will, came out, they needed to be within the project list of ARPA funding at the time.
At the time. Right now, it can
they
be for
don't.
anything.
Yeah,
We get
so
it. We get it. If we're
although
try-
we found the need, or when it was initially set up for temporary staffing, for example, 400,000, the need isn't in temporary staffing.
Sure. Got it, okay. Speak just a little bit to the household home repair, that we've not been able to find someone, if you,
Initially, I think this was earmarked for Habitat for Humanity, if I'm not mistaken. City Manager Argowright might know more about that, but at the time, I thought it was the land on Avenida Simi,
Mhm.
and I don't know that they were ready or able to move forward with that project.
okay, okay.
And
Just
no
trying to
other-
understand contextually where this has been allocated.
That was initially earmarked
Okay.
for them.
Okay. Okay, thank you. That helps me understand better where we're at, and also understands where we are, where this pot of money sits. So thank you.
Great.
Thank you. And thank you for bringing up the EDC.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the East County does not utilize the EDC's loan programs as well as the rest of the county does. I sit on that board. And it's for, if a business cannot qualify for a bank loan, they are eligible to apply for a loan from the EDC at very reasonable rates. And they will work with you and offer you free business planning, free HR advisory, free payroll assistance, all those different programs. Had to get a plug in for the EDC, sorry.
them a call.
We need to utilize it. Thousand Oaks, Moore Park, and Simi Valley all need to utilize it more than we currently do. So thank you. So do I have any other questions or a motion?
I'll move to receive and file the update on the COVID-19 Community Recovery Grant Program and provide the following direction to staff regarding the use of the remaining funds. Approve the free clearance request for the one-time funds of $147,266.26 to complete their previously approved HVAC project, and to approve all of the Samaritan Center's ask in one fell swoop for their case management, housing assistance, and food pantry services to the vulnerable population in Simi Valley.
For the
Thank
next
you.
3 years, yeah.
Yeah, for the next three, he added it together, yes.
That's one lump
Right,
sum.
right, I just,
Yep.
yeah, with the intention.
Okay, I need a second, please.
Second.
Second.
Yep.
Thank you. Call for the vote.
The motion passes unanimously.
Both of your agencies do a wonderful job for our community, so thank you very much.
And just a quick question follow up on that. So it is intended for 3 years. Will they be a monitoring of any kind that, I'm sorry, I realize it's after the after the
Yes, as
fact.
part of the contracts with each agency, they're required to submit how they spent the money and with receipts, with reports, with how many people that they have helped served in the community. So there would be a final report upon the use of those funds. We currently, that's a good question, we currently receive quarterly reports, but oftentimes with some of these fundings that received one time, it was, for example, the pool at Rancho Simi Recreation and Park District. Upon the completion of the pool is when we received the report. So for something such as the free clinic, they will send a report upon completion when the HVAC 7 units have been installed. So we would receive their proposal, they went out for RFPs for bids and things of that nature. So we'll receive receipts for that. For the Samaritan Center, with a one-time funding like that for case management, food pantry, et cetera, motel vouchers, I would imagine that on an annual basis.
I was just going to ask if we could ask whether that needed to be a motion to ask that we get an annual report, because I would like to know annually.
I would say that that should be an additional motion.
Could I make that motion that we receive an annual report of the grant funds with Samaritan Center?
We have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Call for the vote.
The motion passes unanimously.
I also think the additional funding may help your food bank right now, which is probably going to be hit a little harder than normal. So, good. Exactly. So this will help our community, so thank you.
Can we get a vote?
We did.
But we took a vote? Okay.
Passed unanimously.
Madam Mayor and members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 9B, consideration of amendments to the Simi Valley Municipal Code Title 8 Building Regulations, and adoption of the 2025 California Building Standards Code by reference, introduction of an ordinance, and a determination that the project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act. The reading of the ordinance is as follows. Ordinance number 1366, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Simi Valley amending Title 8 of the Simi Valley Municipal Code, adopting by reference the codes that comprise Title 24 of the California Code of Regulations, and specifically the 2025 edition of the California Building Code, the 2025 edition of the California Residential Code, the 2025 edition of the California Electrical Code, the 2025 edition of the California Mechanical Code, the 2025 edition of the California Plumbing Code, the 2025 edition of the California Energy Code, the 2025 edition of the California Green Building Standards Code, the 2025 edition of the California Historical Building Code, the 2025 edition of the California Existing Building Code, the 2025 edition of the California Reference Standards Code, the 2024 International Property Maintenance Code, and the 2025 edition of the California Wildland Urban Interface Code. And Deputy Environmental Services Director and Building Official Ted Drago is here to present this item.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. That was quite a mouthful. There's 7,000 pages of code there. Every 3 years, the model building codes are amended and adopted throughout the state. Model building code development is a consensus process where all stakeholders are represented and ratify the updated codes. The state of California in turn amends and adopts the model codes as the California Building Code Title 24. All cities and counties within the state will then adopt the codes effective January 1st, 2026. Proposed Ordinance 1366 amends and adopts only specific sections of Simi Valley Title 8 that are adopted and coded by reference. Administrative and local seismic standards previously adopted by City Council remain in place. This change in adoption procedure from repeal and replace to adoption by reference only is due to California's AB 130, which places a moratorium on new local building standards after September 30th, 2025. One notable change in the model code is the addition of the Wildland Urban Interface Code, which is Part 7 of Title 24. Current and future fire prevention standards for buildings in high-risk areas will be located in this code. Staff recommends that the City Council introduce for first reading Ordinance number 1366, amending Title 8 in accordance with Government Code 50022.3, schedule a public hearing and second reading for November 17th. This concludes staff's presentation, and I can answer any of your questions. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilmember Litzter.
Thank you. Just, I understand why it's important that we are doing this, and whether we pass it or not, it's still going to go into the code, basically, is what you just said.
Correct.
So,
Yes. It goes in regardless, yes.
But I appreciate that. But thanks for letting us think that we're participating in this process. Actually, I do have a question, though. I wondered if you could, you mentioned the Wildland Interface Code Edition. Could you maybe summarize or explain the key upgrades that you're seeing? I read through it, but it seemed like a lot of it had to do with energy.
So yes, so there's a lot of energy updates in the code, but the specific new addition that was put in, which is part of Title 24, Part 7, that is where all the existing wildland urban interface requirements, right now in Chapter 7A, which the State Fire Marshal enforces, those are being taken out of the code and put in this new addition, in this specific code part. So it's showing us that in the future, hardening of dwelling units and neighborhoods are going to be a priority in the code, and you're going to see that code evolve in the near future to being more robust to protect houses and harden neighborhoods against wildfire.
And likely the portion of Simi Valley that would apply to geographically all, or just
a very large
perimeter?
portion of it. Everything within what is the local high-risk fire area. And it may even evolve to lower risk areas too, because as we know, we've seen, you can be pretty far away from an interface and still be impacted by a wildfire. So I would expect to see that code develop over the next 3 to 6 years.
Okay. I think that's it. I just wondered, was there any further movement in the building code regarding the ADUs on axles, et cetera? There's a business in town that, anyway, on the national level, there was some code that's being changed that allows for ADUs potentially that could come in on an axle but built to code? Is there
So
anything in this that you saw
There's
that
nothing
addresses
specific,
that?
yes, correct. That's nothing specific in this building code that would allow something that's not a mobile home. So mobile homes are a specific class of dwelling unit that is recognized by the state of California and HUD.
Sure.
It goes to Title 25, not Title 24. So it's built to a different code standard, and there's a legal process to place that on a lot, get it recorded, and be real property. Things that are now in the tiny home realm are more of an RV with axles, and so they would not be part of the building code at all.
Got it. And yeah, we'll have a discussion later about that, but thank you. Okay, appreciate those answers. Thank you.
Any
I'm
other
willing to make a
questions or
motion.
concerns from the council? I'm open for an motion. Oh, Councilmember Judge?
For the Simi Valley Municipal Code and in accordance with Government Code Section 50022.3, schedule a public hearing for November 17th, 2025.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. And second by Councilmember Rose. Call for the vote.
The motion passes unanimously.
There you go, Mr. Drago.
And council, I just want to say that staff is continuing to work on that memo related to tiny homes on wheels. I would anticipate that we would have something in the very near future to put in boxes about that.
Thank you. They had a nice display of those at the street fair. Very interesting. Thank you, City Clerk.
Madam Mayor and members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 9C, receive and file the fiscal year 2024-25 Simi Valley Public Library Annual Report, and Deputy Community Services Director Anna Medina and Library Director Stephanie Ronca are here to present this item. It's on.
Good evening, Mayor Kavanaugh and members of the City Council. Thank you for having me. My name is Stephanie Ronca, and I'm the Library Director at the Simi Valley Public Library. It is my pleasure to present the Simi Valley Public Library's annual report for fiscal year 2024 to 2025. Last year, Library Systems and Services transitioned the annual report to a web-based format for easier year-round access for all stakeholders and library users. Anyone can easily refer to the report on the library's website without the need to download or print a document. The Simi Valley Public Library is dedicated to building community, increasing access, enhancing services, and building awareness. In fiscal year 24-25, the library provided 2,905 service hours, welcomed 172,806 visitors, created 31,666 library cards, and circulated 390,342 items. To meet these goals, we have worked to extend library services beyond the physical building, ensuring access to all community members. We are constantly participating in community events and creating new partnerships to meet our community where they are. One of our most exciting examples of extending library services was the launch of our mobile library van in February. This ribbon-cutting ceremony was attended by over 200 people. Attendees learned how the van operated, met with our mobile coordinator, and checked out library materials. In its first year, our mobile library established 21 partnerships, made 66 stops, served 2,175 people, and checked out 564 books. Highlighted here are just a few of the community events we attended, including Adventist Health's Farmers Market, the Chamber of Commerce's Street Fair, and the MetroLink Holiday Express. At many of these events, the mobile library partnered with our Friends of the Library to bring story time, book giveaways, and fun learning activities to help enrich these programs. The library also organized 20 school visits, resulting in the creation of 193 new library cards, expanding access for children, including digital resources for those unable to visit the library in person. Staff facilitated story times and STEAM learning activities, fostering positive experiences that encourage literacy and a lifelong love of learning. In addition to our outreach efforts, the library serves as a community hub for learning, engagement, and connection. In fiscal year 24-25, the library partnered with numerous organizations to host events that share resources, build connections, and promote lifelong learning. The library collaborated with the Simi Valley Youth Council and city staff to host a variety of impactful programs connecting local youth with valuable resources and opportunities. Highlights from this year include the Rock Painting for Suicide Prevention, a volunteer fair, a teen wellness expo, and a job fair. Another key goal of the library is to provide a welcoming space where community members can relax and connect with others, particularly through free workshops and performances. This year, the library reestablished its partnership with local chamber orchestras and hosted the youth orchestra's first performance. Even during extreme weather events, the library continues to meet community needs. Thanks to our Tesla generator, more than 1,000 people used the library during this year's public safety power shutoffs to charge their devices and access free Wi-Fi for work. In addition to library programs, the library's community room serves as a hub for community group meetings, informational workshops, and wellness activities that strengthen community well-being. This year, it hosted health screenings during the Council on Aging's Wellness Expo, held regular senior fitness classes, and hosted multiple blood drives. The Simi Valley Public Library enjoys creating fun and engaging programs that connect our community with resources and build connections. In partnership with the Simi Valley Educators Association, local leaders inspired children by reading at our annual Read Across America program. This year's theme highlighted stories from across the nation and included historical California-specific activities organized by the Friends of the Library and Strathern Historical Society. To celebrate the diverse cultures in our community, the library invited guest speakers and performances, including Irish dancing and a mini powwow. These programs provided unique opportunities to experience and appreciate different traditions. The library partnered with the Cultural Arts Center and Moorpark College to bring back their photography exhibit and panel. During this event, the community and panelists get to engage with one another about the artwork created by our own local talent. Our volunteers are the heartbeat of our library. This year, volunteers provided 11,428 hours of their time maintaining our gardens, operating our bookstore, assisting with programs, and so much more. The library hosts reading challenges to help motivate reluctant readers to track their reading. This year, we had 2,176 participants in our summer and fall reading challenges. This year, the library increased community awareness of library programs and resources through Facebook and Instagram. Facebook reach increased by 90%, while Instagram increased by 65%. Facebook page visits increased by 32%, and Instagram visits increased by 44%. The library is constantly working to increase awareness of our available resources and gather community input. This year, during National Library Week, we collected feedback from our customers on what they'd like to see in the library, which resulted in the addition of our new pet dragon, Little Wing. The impact of increased social engagement can be seen in the success of library programs. The library provided 577 programs such as Early Story Times, Coding Club, and Senior Fitness to meet the diverse needs and interests of our community. A total of 13,398 patrons attended these programs, including 7,322 Storytime attendees. Our adult literacy program is thriving and continues to address a great need in our community. During fiscal year 24-25, we tripled our program by establishing 27 tutor-learner matches, with tutors sometimes serving multiple learners. Improved literacy empowers adults to reach their aspirations, which has a positive impact on their and their families' futures. Children's and Teen Services saw a growth in tween programming, an age group often underserved by library programming. New programs included our monthly STEAM-driven Courageous Chronicles, Lego Club, and Tween Craft program led by our Teen Advisory Group members. This year, we also introduced Vox books to our collection. These all-in-one read-along books have been extremely popular, with 443 checkouts of the 79 books in our collection. With the addition of the database Viero Coding, we launched a coding club for ages 10 to 18. The club meets monthly and helps our youth develop skills and connect with each other. Throughout the year, staff answered 5,068 reference questions for customers, have made 2,798 Spanish titles available and had 110,995 website visits. The library has several community partners who provide invaluable support and who make the services the library delivers possible. We've highlighted a few with photos from events they attended this year. The City Council, who serves as our Library Board of Trustees, provides oversight and support for the Simi Valley Public Library. The board's commitment to meeting community needs through library services and its vision for the future are fundamental to the operation of the library. The Friends of the Simi Valley Public Library have been a part of the community for more than 50 years, helping support the library with supplementary funds for program and hoopla services. The Simi Valley Library Foundation, who has been raising funds to revitalize the library, building a destination spot where the community can gather for inspiration and exploration. And other partners include Rancho Simi Recreation and Park District, Simi Valley Unified School District, Simi Valley Police Department, Simi Valley Kiwanis, as well as many others. This concludes the presentation, and staff are available to answer any questions you may have.
Councilmember Judge? Excuse me, Mayor Pro Tem Judge? Is that from last time? Okay, sorry. Councilmember Litzter?
Thank you, Stephanie. And Anna, nice job on the scrolling for the web page. That was well done. In fact, it was a delight to go and look at that. And what's lovely is that that's available for everyone to read that report. It's online and available. A question, you had, in your report, stated 5,000 new library card holders this year, which is very impressive. Do we restrict card issuance to Simi Valley residents?
We do not. As long as they live in California, they can get a library card.
Okay, so anyone, okay, lovely. And so I will say I loved the picture of Mayor Kavanaugh reading during the reading book, and I loved your new pet dragon, Little Wing, and I love the fact that adult reading literacy tripled. You have 27 tutors servicing many more than that. Here's the only change I want in your report. We noticed where it lists the council members, there are only 2 council members in that picture.
I was fine with that.
I know you were. But if I have to sit in a dunk tank for 30 minutes at the summer kickoff, and I know that Councilmember Rhodes and Mayor Pro Tem Judge have also been part of that reading across America, just so you know that we're happy to give you a picture of all 5 of us.
Okay, yeah, I'd love to add
No,
that.
I'm just teasing you. It's a beautiful report. Thank you.
Councilmember Rhodes, you going to complain about that?
Yeah, all 5. There's a number that is going to be in next year's thing, and that's 1 book eaten by my dog that we just replaced at the library, and I hope it was an acceptable copy. Apparently, my dog wants higher learning as well. Thank you for this report. It's great to see that we have been able to quantify the impact that the library is having, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you, and thank you for the report.
Thank you. Councilmember Ayala?
Thank you. Yeah, we love supporting the library, right? And when I get Isabella from school, she'll say, do we have time to stop by the library, right? So it's really nice that it's there and just in our area. But I also, and you can just leave this on the screen, is the amount of partnerships that the library has. When we're sitting in meetings and we need a place to meet, people will say, are we going to use the library, right? Are we going to use the library? And I know even, I was going to mention this in my report, but the volunteer fair that the Youth Council is putting on next on the 13th is going to be held at the library, right? So the library is more than just a place for books, right? It's actually a community space that we need for different events, and they're more than willing to help out at all of those things. So thank you for your continued partnership across all of these organizations. Thanks.
Yes, thank you. That was a great report, ladies. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the pictures, too. Thank you. My grandsons love to go to the library. They do. And it's really a great place because we do offer so much more than just books. I'm an avid reader and always have been, but for the kids to come in and be able to have their own section, and when you have the Read Across America, there are crafts and just all the different things that you have at the library. It's so innovative, and you do a great job. You make us look good, and we really, really appreciate that. So keep up the good work. We appreciate it. Thank you. Any other comments? You're done for the evening. Thank you. We appreciate it. Great report.
Do you need a motion to receive and file?
Yeah, I think we do.
Madam Mayor, I move to receive and file the Simi Valley Public Library Annual Report for fiscal year 24-25.
Second.
Call for the vote.
The motion passes unanimously. Madam Mayor and members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 10A, City Council Member Reports.
Councilmember Ayala, you're up.
Okay, October 21st, I attended the Ventura County Regional Energy Alliance meeting, and two timely topics came up. One is they are going to continue to look at grants that local agencies can use, such as ours, specifically in regards to the shutoffs for different generators and backups and things like that, both residents as well as businesses. So maybe once those get released, we can tap into those to help with some of the cost of that. The other thing is we talked about the e-bikes at the last meeting, and they said they're going to start working with SCAG, which means that a couple of council members might know about, start learning about this, because they're trying to put together a consistent ordinance across the county so that there's consistency in terms of enforcement and things like that across the county and the different cities. So you guys, you might be hearing that in an upcoming meeting as well. The also on October 21st, I attended the Youth Council meeting. Again, they're having their volunteer fair. Mr. Fowler's here, just so I don't get it wrong. I think it's Thursday, November 13th, 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the library. Is that right? What's great about the Youth Council is they're putting on this volunteer fair, but it really is, it benefits the entire city, right? It's all of the different nonprofits coming together. So hopefully some people can attend that. October 23rd, I attended the Action Drug Rehab grand opening. Again, what I mentioned there was it's great that we have the founders are Simi Valley High School graduates. So again, it's great that they graduated from Simi, grew up here, and are now giving back to the community in that way. October 24th, I attended the Visit Simi Tourism Subcommittee. This month it was hosted by the American Jewish University at their House of the Book, which was an amazing filming location. We're now trying to have them at different places where you can actually promote the filming. But in case you guys don't know, Power Rangers was filmed there, Star Trek V, and also Netflix's Beef were all filmed there. And so it really is there to help promote the space, and it's really a unique, amazing spot if you haven't seen it before. October 25th, I attended the street fair. October 27th, I volunteered at the YMCA golf tournament. October 27th, I attended the Teacher of the Month, which was at Royal High School this month with Mr. Kevin Habron. And what's great is two things. Number one, he graduated from Royal, so now he's teaching back at the school he graduated from. And the nomination was made by the students and not by a staff member. And I think that always means a little bit more when the students actually send in the recommendation. October 27th as well, I attended the retirement for Senior Police Officer Chris, I'm going to mess up his name, Hassi. And October 30th, I had my touch base meeting with the city manager, and also on October 30th, I attended and volunteered actually at the Big Brothers Big Sisters Halloween event. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you. Councilmember Rhodes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On the 21st, I attended at the library Neighborhood Council number 4's meeting, and was able to listen and give some input. On October 22nd, I attended online the Legislative Affairs Zoom call with the Chamber. On October 23rd, I also attended the Action Drug Rehab grand opening, or reopening, because they're back now in Simi Valley, and it's a great organization doing some tremendous work. On the 25th, I also attended the street fair. It was kind of nice not having a booth and just getting to wander. and experience what was going on at the street fair. And I must confess, it was so large this year that I only got about 3/4 of the way through. Let's see. On the 30th, I attended a Council on Foreign Relations Zoom call on artificial intelligence, and it had a wide range of topics, but mostly in terms of national security, and then also the coordination of best practices between state entities. So there weren't a lot of actionable items for a municipal entity, but knowing that there are people out there thinking about that is a good thing. Also on the 30th, I attended Amgen's groundbreaking of their new $600 million Technology and Innovation Center in Thousand Oaks. It was a special interest to me because my wife worked for Amgen for 26 years, but they are continuing to invest in East County, and inevitably the increase in jobs and revenue for this end of the county will spill over into Simi. I did mention to several of the executives there, you know, we have a fiber backbone. And, let's see, on the 31st in the morning, I attended Clay's for Canines and did better this year than previous years, and that's not hard to do. And then my last announcement, on Saturday the 1st, I found myself on the radio and was able to do a breaking news. The Dodgers have won the World Series, and I got to be the guy who said it on the news, so that was kind of fun. And then that's the end of my report.
Thank you. Councilmember Litzer.
Well, I cannot top that, but well done. Let me start with Wednesday, October 22nd, where I attended Moore Park's Makerspace grand opening. And what I wasn't aware, but at Moore Park College, they have had Makerspace areas dotted throughout their campus. And basically, they realized that they would have better usage if it was all consolidated into one big room and one big staff and facility. And it's a beautiful facility. And so, and it's open to all majors. The idea is it's to be embraced and used by all. So students there can have access to 3D printers, to laser cutting, to presses for shirts, hot, whatever, all the gadgets to make cool things. And so it was a lovely event and great things happening there at Moore Park College. On Thursday, October 23rd, I first attended in the morning WaterWise breakfast series sponsored by AWA, the Association of Water Agencies. But basically, the speaker at that, and this is, I think, of interest to us as water stewards, was what Las Virgenes Water District talked about their desalination plant, or what they're doing with it. And basically, currently they have partnered with a company that is testing this desalination pod in the bottom of their reservoir to see how well that works, and so far so good. And then the second stage, they actually take it out into the Pacific Ocean, and it works. It is a pod that sits at the bottom of the ocean. It actually uses deep water, I think what's 400 meters down. Anyway, it uses the water pressure to actually do the process. And so anyway, all of the general environmental concerns are kind of removed by the way that this is done. And so it's really fascinating as it progresses. And my question was, well, do you have a nexus to the Pacific Ocean? I mean, is Las Virgenes Water District, because in my mind, that's Westlake, et cetera. And what they explained is that, yes, if they go down Malibu Canyon, not close, not quite, but they're partnering also with Malibu, and ideally, if it produces the water, fresh water they're hoping, that just frees up more water allotment for the rest of us, for instance, that doesn't have to be taken, or the output will be such that maybe other communities can, if it becomes successful, can participate in using that water as well. But because it is so innovative, the state regulations don't exist for it, because the traditional model is a big factory on top of the water, et cetera. And so really it's taking a lot of electeds to try to figure out what the regulation, what concerns need to be considered to allow them to actually go forward with production. But it was a very, very interesting presentation, so stay tuned. I too attended the Action Drug Rehab grand reopening, I guess we should say, although it's been a few years. Glad that they have returned. We need that, we absolutely need good drug rehabilitation opportunities in our community. We absolutely do. And also that afternoon attended VCOG's Administrative Committee meeting, where basically we discussed reformatting the VCOG meetings, hopefully making them more action-oriented so that we can come away with things that we can do as a body to better our city and certainly the county. Really, that almost is about it for my report, because Friday, October 24th, I took a red-eye, flew to Boston, where I attended the Association of Financial Professionals, where I was exhibiting, and then Wednesday flew from there to Idaho Falls to visit my parents, and got back yesterday. And so that's it for my contributions for the city. But anyway, it's lovely to see the rest of the country. We have a great country, and sorry I missed the street fair. It's always phenomenal. So thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Judge.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On to Thursday, October 23rd, I too attended the Action Drug Rehab grand opening, and welcome back to Simi Valley. On Saturday, October 25th, I had a booth at the street fair, and I'd like to thank all the hundreds of people that came up and talked to me that day. It was a great day. All positive comments. It was great to see how much people love our city. On Monday, October 27th, I too attended the retirement for Officer Hassey, and I saw Chris later that week. I'll discuss that in a minute. On Tuesday, October 28th, myself and a group of people from VCTC got together over Zoom and discussed we've been throwing this around for a couple of years on how to try and integrate every city's ADA paratransit and dial-a-ride systems into one that would fit the whole county and work throughout the county without having transfers and all that other kind of stuff. So I'm happy to report that study is moving right along, and hopefully we'll have something to present within the next year. On Thursday, October 30th, I attended the employee Halloween costume contest here at City Hall. Great job, and it was the costumes were great, and everybody looked like they were having a great time. On Friday, October 3rd, part of my duties of supporting our nonprofits here in Simi Valley, I attended the Halloween trap shoot at Oak Tree Gun Club for the Simi Valley Police Foundation. And I'm proud to say that I was on the Elks team, and we came in first place overall for the team. On Saturday, November 1st, I attended the Pins for Presidents at the Valley Bowl, supporting the Blue Christmas. That is part of our police department's effort to support the needy people in our community during this Christmas season. And closing my report, I just want to say we're not going to be here before Veterans Day, so I want to wish all my fellow veterans a happy Veterans Day, and I hope to see you all at Rancho Simi Park's gala on the 11th at 11 a.m. Thank you very much. That's the end of my report.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Judge. On October 23rd, I had my touch base with City Manager Arga Bright. On Saturday, I also attended the street fair, had a booth there. It was great. The chamber just does a wonderful job on our street fair. It gets better and better every year. People enjoy it so much more. I only came home with one bag of candy. So I gave out plenty of candy, but everyone was having a great time. It started out in so much fog you couldn't see more than 30 feet in front of you, and ended up about, 80 degrees. So just a beautiful day. So again, it's a great event for our community. On Thursday, October 30th, in the morning, I also attended the Employee Halloween Costume Contest. It was great, just like Mayor Pro Tem Judge said, some of the costumes. So the city manager's office was the Wizard of Oz themed. They were great. They were fantastic. They all participated. They had some really great ideas. The individuals, there was a guy as Danger Zone. It was very funny. So you have to look at some of these pictures. It was a crack up. And the blue screen of death that we've all seen on our computer, he was pretty good too. That was pretty funny. But it was a great morale booster, and everyone was having fun and laughing and enjoying each other. So that was a great event. That evening, I attended the Citizens Academy fall session graduation. So that was nice to recognize those that had attended the Citizens Academy and to see how much they enjoyed it and how much they learned. And of course, then they just want to watch the canines. So, but it was a great event. And unfortunately, I missed the trap shoot, which I'm not very good at, but I hope to sometimes beat Councilmember Rhodes. But it's a toss-up which one of us hits less, probably. Yes, so that's the end of my report. Okay. So item 10B, do we have any future agenda items at this time? Okay, Councilmember Litzler?
So I had someone bring to my attention that in Santa Clarita, they do a weekly post of all the filming that's taking place in their community, whether it's commercial, whether it's whatever. And I know that we as a council get all the permits, we know about all the things that are taking place, but they use it kind of as a, look what's happening, and they send it out to other production companies, and just kind of, there's a synergy that seems to be happening because of it. And it seems to me we have quite a bit of filming going on. It might be something we should consider doing. I just wanted to put it out here in this setting. I don't know if that's a report or a comment, or I don't know how to take it from there, but I just want to throw it out there.
Well, I was just going to say, we're going to have on an agenda item pretty soon, something to do with the filming and such, and that could be part of that. But the Park District also does a lot of filming, so.
And it could be reported. I know we have our wonderful Focus Monthly that the city does, but this is a thought, if the city just, even if it's just a 2-paragraph blurb, I don't know, if it helps promote filming in our community, it just was a thought.
We can look at it.
Yeah, happy to do that. Some of the filming permits that we get don't necessarily tell us what the actual name of the production is.
Sure.
Because they want to keep that confidential so that they're not inundated with folks coming by to check it out. But I believe we instituted it this past year, a press release indicating some of the productions that did happen in Simi Valley over the past year. So it is something that we can definitely take a look at and see if we can get going on that.
And it includes like the number of filming days, we've seen that, ahead
Yeah,
of
the
time.
economic impact.
Right,
and
exactly.
things
So
like
that's always a big positive. So, okay, thank you. Anything else? Seeing nothing else, tonight we will be adjourning in memory of Kenneth Bo Stevenson. He was one of our former Simi Valley Police Department officers and was also involved with SWAT. Lauren Craven, La Mesa police officer, and Andrew Nunez, the San Bernardino County Deputy Sheriff. So we're adjourned. Thank you.